Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Amazing.
Lekker mensen, welcome back to another show of TN.
Oh,
We are the Thursday Night Outcasts, and this is a post-analysis discussion on Survivor South Africa Season 7. And today we're going to discuss, it is episode 16, am I right, Kobus?
yes, indeed. It is episode 16.
Yes, great. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to cover that, and we're going to begin with the recap. Kobus is the recap guy, and he's just so good at it. So I'm going to let you do it again. Go, Kobus, go.
Oh, thanks so much, Claudio. I really appreciate it. Leading me into the recap. So cool episode. I mean, we got to see everyone's loved one, which is, it's a different angle, and it's nice to see that emotion. And I think a lot of people tend to think, oh shit, man, these people are just a bunch of robots, they're very one-dimensional. And then you see them interact with their loved ones, and you go like, oh, so it was cool to see. And there was some embarrassing moments for a couple of people, I think, as well. But in any case, let's not delve into that. What I do want to say quickly is, if you go on to Survivor, you must think strategically before the game even with regards to who you pick as your loved ones. Because odds are they will be competing in a challenge with you. And I must say, I think Rob got it spot on, obviously, because his mother was flying through that challenge. But it wasn't actually her that won him or that helped him win the challenge. I mean, no one was knocking over those pigs which were on the little pedestals. Only Rob was strong enough to be able to chuck the bags far enough to knock it over. So that was what the challenge was. It was a rewards challenge and an immunity challenge. Rob won by a landslide. It was a whitewash. No one even knocked over one little pig, and Rob knocked out all of them. So he chose Steffi and her loved one, Steffi and her friend, Gina, and Letitia and her daughter to join him at the reward. So I think I'm not strategically sure how good that call was by Rob, although it seemed to have worked out for him. So, and then we saw quite an interesting tribal council. And we saw Dumb and Dumber here, only realizing now that it's too late. So yes, Claudio, that was my take. What did you take out of the episode?
Yeah, I mean, this I have to give it to the people putting this together, because I have never in my life seen a tribal council go down like that before. I think, a lot of praise is going to go Rob's way, like it should do. I mean, he's dominated this game from start to finish. But the person who's going to go down in Survivor folklore history, without doubt, he's going to become a bit of a cult hero figure. And I'm not talking about locally, I'm talking about internationally. There's a lot of talk about him already. But Durang, he will be remembered for all of this. This was incredible. I mean, I was speechless. I've never in my life seen someone do that. And, I'm just hoping there's like a little 3.25% percentage of hope where I'm thinking to myself, if Durang is intentionally doing all of this, my word, that would be brilliant. But deep down, I think we all know it's not intentional. But my word, it is definitely entertaining stuff. And if you haven't seen the episode 16 yet, just go straight to the tribal council. That's where you want to go. It was fantastic. It was brilliant stuff. I'm not gonna lie. So forget about the vote was straightforward with Mike going home, but leading up until that moment and that actual moment was brilliant. It was so good. It's too many moments to pick out for. I actually think how we're going to coin this episode is like a moment of awkwardness. There were literally far too many, well, not in a good way, but so many awkward moments where you're just like, and he rushes and then other guys, it was crazy.
I was laughing when the Rao said, "This is confusing," and then Mike chips in, "No, it's pretty obvious."
But there's so many of those moments. There are far too many of those moments. But even when I know we skipped the format a little bit, but when Steffi's a bit upset and she's telling him, "Yeah, just so you know, Durang, like if I win the award, I'm sending you packing. You're not coming with me." And he just laughs it off and he goes, "Yeah, we just knew you'd get upset about it." She goes, "Oh, is that how you're gonna play it?" And all of a sudden his face is like,
"Ooh." No, that was hilarious. Anyway, okay, Claudia, I think let's jump into the Golden Spear section. Golden Spear we reward to the person who did the coolest thing in this episode, or we actually always say the person who sort of like improved their position the most. So which is quite a tough thing to do at this stage in the game, and I think there's very few. Well, there is obviously a lot less people in the game, but yeah, I want to nominate Rob's mother. Obviously, she came into the challenge and just ripped through it, which I thought was quite cool. And so yeah, I want to nominate her. And then also, I know we've nominated him before. I want to nominate Niku for asking the right question. The beautiful question was, who's on the A-list tonight? Who thinks they're going home? And everyone was just looking at one another, like no one was going home. I mean, no, that was funny. Anyway.
I mean, that was a brilliant moment, I think, and it just shows or highlights the control Rob has over this game. The fact that when he asks the question, he says, that A-list question, and no one flinches. Everyone thinks, "Oh, I'm good. I'm part of the plan." I mean, that is superb control. So as far as the Golden Spear, I mean, that's an obvious candidate. This guy over there, he's killing it. He's absolutely killing it. And the fact that he can piss off Nicole and send her away and his whole argument was completely flawed. But we'll talk about that. I think a lot of these things need to be discussed in Golden Spear. I think this is a quick foregone conclusion. But yeah, so he's managed the game well. I will mention Nicole. I think it was the first time. I mean, she's very composed, so composed, and you can see all that training from speaking in front of people, usually on a bigger platform, has given her great experience, and that is why she's composed. But this is the first time where the hunger and the family really got to emotionally, and that also caused or contributed to the chaos at the tribal council. And it was great to see a real side of her, not like everything she mentions about truth and integrity and everything else. I mean, that's very, very well thought of, very considered. This is the first time she lost her shit a little bit, and she actually like confronted Rob because she was upset. And that was real. That was very authentic. And I think that's something people could relate to. And even the arguments in which she portrayed or put forward towards the jury, I thought was better. Sure, people might not like her, but I mean, if there's a situation where she's at the end with Rob, she's pretty much saying, "Cool, I am working under the Rob, but I make this decision for my game, and there's a reason to that." So I'm hoping if she does make it to the end, or when she does make it to the end, she's going to own everything she's done. So yeah, so I think she needs to get mentioned.
I think you make a good point, Claudia. I noticed during Tribal Council when Nicole spoke, the jury wasn't in this episode. The jury wasn't like looking at one another and going like,
eye rolling, yeah.
Yeah, they were like locked in, hanging on her lips. So yeah. I think that and that's a thing to consider also for who you are taking to final three with is. Yeah. Is the person that's going to final three with you, how good are they at motivating their decisions and because they're going to motivate why they should be given the R1 million. So at this stage, I think everyone wants to take the role, you know.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what would surprise me is if all of this is a front, and when he gets to the, I mean, this would be the ultimate blindside.
No.
And all of a sudden he cleans his act up and he's like, well, you know what, guys? I deserve to be in the final because I've played this doofus act in front of all of you for 35 days. One person picked it up. I mean, that would blow my mind. That would blow my mind. Yeah.
I'm not as big as a doofus as I portrayed. Anyway.
But yeah, I think you make a valid point about that, what you're saying about Nicole as well. And I mean, she did say things to Mike when Mike asked, like, did you know? And I was like, no, I didn't know. And Nicole's like, yeah, I knew. I'm telling you now. So she's sending him home and she's aware of that. Yeah. But she's telling him, dude, just know when you go there, I'm responsible. So he's already knowing that he's getting that set behind there. So that's quite cool.
Claudio, who I also want to nominate for the Golden Spear, is Clint, Nicole's boyfriend.
Why?
Well, he said just when he entered, and Mike said to him, well, Clint, we've heard so much about you. Then Clint goes and say, well, don't believe everything you hear from Nicole. That is valid commentary right there.
I don't know if that's doing a favor, but okay.
He knows his lady.
But I mean, coming to that point, like one of the good things about Survivor is, I mean, why we watch it, or one of the reasons I watch it is because we always empathize with the people and we always put ourselves in their situation. I always think, like, these people are really crying to be out there and there are a lot of emotions. What would happen if I was out there with one of my loved ones? And I work it out and I'm like, cool. If I had my mom would come up. She's very hardcore, by the way. My mom would be like, they're like, Claudia, your mom's there. She'd be like, eh. And I'd be like, hey. if my sister came out, she'd come there and she'd be like, hey, Cloudy, what's up? You know, she always does this accent and she'd trip over herself. And then Christy would come, my girlfriend Christy would come in with like face paint, ready for war. But either way, all three of them are super competitive. So it would be interesting to see how it plays out. And I always play these scenarios in my head. I don't know. That's what I think of.
I think, but if you do go choose Christy, she would make a killer. She would make a killer player in the what's her name in the challenges.
Yeah, but she's very directed and she would kill people. She would do that. So yeah,
it would make for some good watching. Any case, wooden spoon. Yeah. Shall we jump into the wooden spoon?
Yes, please. Let's do that. Ooh,
okay.
Wooden spoon. Yeah.
What the hell are you doing?
I'm kicking my ass! Do you mind?
Yes, wooden spoon, village idiot. Who did the stupidest thing this episode? I mean,
who didn't do the stupidest thing? Who didn't do the stupidest thing?
Yeah, who didn't do a stupid thing this episode? Once again, I just want to, should I move my chair a bit like this? Can you see they're riding that reindeer. Any case, so obviously, these two candidates behind me, I feel like, gee whiz, guys, you should have seen it coming. I mean, Jock was sitting there in the jury going like, oh my word.
That was a cool moment. Yeah.
Exactly what I said would happen just happened. But also, Claudia, I actually wanted to mention him in the Golden Spear section. Rocco. Rocco predicted this before he got voted out.
Well, which parts? I've completely forgot this.
Rocco sat everyone down in that episode where he got voted out. Anyway, and he said to them, guys, Rob, Steffi, and Nicole are super close. They're in an alliance. And everyone was just la-di-da, wah. Rocco was just, talking, whatever. In the meantime, that very alliance which Rocco warned them about kicked all of their asses. Remember, I even said they coined Rocco as Superman, and then I said, well, if he's Superman, then someone else is clearly Lex Luthor, and you don't want to play the game with Lex Luthor because Lex Luthor is going to kill you. And in fact, that is what happened. So, okay, but I can't nominate Rocco. He's not in the game anymore. But I want to nominate...
Wait, no, before we move on, I don't know. You need to make sure Rocco watches the shit. Because Rocco, this is your number one fan. Kobus loves the shit out of you. I'm just saying.
Rocco is such a solid guy, man.
Okay, let me nominate the wooden spoon because that's actually what we're talking about. Let's not forget.
All right.
I think number one, Letitia needs to get mentioned for a couple of things. One, she gets so excited to be a proud mom to show her daughter that she's got an idol. She says it in front of everyone. I mean, that's not the smartest thing to do. Number two, she burns the burritos for her guests. She burns that. That wasn't a good move. I mean, I understand you've been on the island for a couple of days, but let's not get carried away. And if we're talking about Steffi, let's think about Steffi. Steffi actually didn't do much wrong today, but I mean, yeah, she didn't do much wrong. But the funny part was she didn't say anything in tribal council except for the part that when Mike was completely disillusional and he said, yes, I'm actually playing a very good game. Everyone's kind of said that. And, we're all just collaborating. And then, we would have voted. We would have voted. And then she said,
you didn't have the numbers, Mikey.
Yeah.
It's because he didn't have the numbers.
He didn't have the numbers, yeah. I thought, I was like, what? And that was her 2 cents the whole. That was brilliant. So anyway, yeah. So Mike needs to get nominated because he's in the game, but he is the prodigal son that doesn't fulfill the prophecy like every one of the other people. And he thinks he's in the game, but he's thinking right. But there's like a little disconnect where it's like the current is flowing. It's just flowing in the wrong direction. And it's like Rob is just too good for him. He's like 5 steps ahead of him. And he couldn't see the Durang relationship with Rob. He couldn't, even though he said, like, he idolizes Rob, he couldn't see that. So I think he needs to get mentioned. And I'll let you continue from here because there are more names that need to be mentioned. You continue. Yeah.
Okay. No, I also wanted to say with regards to Mike, like, there was this point in the episode where they said, okay, so what is the plan for tonight? And then Mike turns around. Yo, Rob, what is the plan?
What is the plan?
I'm so excited. I'm excited. Let's discuss the plan,
And then he's like, and then he sees Rob's face, and Rob's like, it's like, I'm not part of the plan.
Yeah, then he's like,
that's a bit like sunk in. For me, Durang, I mean, he has to get mentioned. He just has to get mentioned. Because, I mean, wow. But he says, I think the best part is when he's working out the numbers, and he goes, so there are 3 of you, and then there are 3 of us. And Mike says, no, dude, there are 4 of them. Letitia's not with you. And he goes, but, and she's like, have you ever spoken to Letitia? She goes, yeah. Have you ever asked me? And he's like,
but I can ask you now.
Yeah. So I mean, wow. I mean, I don't know what planet he's living on, but I need to get invited, or I need to go visit him on that planet because that is a hell of a place.
There's a saying in Afrikaans, jy pluk 'n lat vir jou eie gat. And it just means you're choosing what you want to be hit with. What's the right word? Like you're choosing the sambok that you want to be hit with.
Yeah.
And I think Mike and Darrell, they were picking a lot for their own asses, basically.
Oh wait a minute. This just in, Kobus, we keep talking about having the Darrell Award being as the wooden spoon. I think he's surpassed that. Durang now, as I can see here, is actually a verb in the dictionary for being blissfully ignorant. That's what it is. And what's great is this is a Spanish dictionary. So yes, Durang. Yes, yeah. That's what it says. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Yo, man.
So congratulations, Durang. You have surpassed the wooden spear award. We're removing it from its category because you've got your own dictionary. That's what's happening.
He's got that sorted. Okay, Claudio, I think. Yeah. Oh shit, We
didn't even award the Golden Spear.
Yeah, man, we were so flipping into this whole thing. Shit. Okay, so Golden Spear, quickly. Oh, let's throw it to someone quickly. Are we gonna
No,
throw
that's
it to Nicole?
Nah, let's give it to Rob's mom. Oh wait, Nicole. Yeah, let's give it to Nicole because I think she's got a huge chance in this game now.
Yep, I think she did well, especially there in the
No,
end.
screw it, dude. No, we never give it to Rob. Rob deserves this thing. Let's give it to Rob. Until next, let's give it to Rob. Rob has to get it. We never give it to him because we're trying to be nice to everyone else. I mean, he's deserved like 8 in a row, technically.
Flipping hell, no, but I think we've thrown him like 2 or 3 Golden Spears.
But he deserves like 25.
That's true. Let's throw him and his mom one.
Yeah, I think joints. I mean, his mom was brilliant.
The Bentele team.
Whoop, Bentele family! Oh, what a throw, Kobus.
Yes.
That has gone the distance. I can see that shit. Yeah. Okay. All right. And then wooden spoon. What do you think about wooden spoon?
Oh man, I've got to hand it to these two. Yeah. Over here. Just take it. Take it, damn it. All right. Claudio.
Oh, sorry, dude. I'm zoned out.
Be careful, you getting a wooden spoon.
Hey, you deserved one the other day. Remember that.
Oh,
I'm not going to mention it here. I'm not going to mention it here.
Okay. All right. Bygones be bygones.
Yeah, I do want to say this though. I do want to say, I mean, this is the first episode where you saw a clear difference between people who had eaten on the show and people who hadn't, and people who had gotten their fix from a family situation and those that hadn't. I mean, you could see the fatigue on the Nicole, Durang, and Mike. You could see it on their face. You could even hear when they were saying it. When I think Durang spoke to Mike, and then Mike was like, "Yo," or Durang said to Mike, "Don't go after Rob." And it's like, "Oh, when, what?" And then you're like, "Yo, dude, the guy wasn't even listening. He had completely zoned out." And Nicole's raw emotion was contributed to that fact. Whereas the other were just quiet and they were a lot more cognizant of what was going on. And they were more self-aware of the surroundings. I think that was very overt as to, you know, what the conditions are like on the island of Survivor.
Yeah. Okay, Claudio, very true. But we need to quickly discuss the storm is brewing.
Okay. This is going to be problems because now all the prawns are coming out. They want to see what's going on. Stop it! Hannes, bring my foot. See, everybody's gathering now. Don't shoot, man. You're going to turn it into a war zone.
What is that? Is it tear gas? Is that tear gas?
No, it's cat food. It's cat food. I just distract them. Yeah, he got a bit close. He was prodding a prawn and he got blitzed. He's lost his...
I think the storm is brewing is going to be very short from my side. I mean, basically what I see coming is if Rob doesn't win immunity, he's in a bit of trouble because I think that Nicole and Steffi doesn't want him sitting at the end. So, and there has been some talks of getting rid of Rob. And I just hope, I see in the preview, they're making a pact not to play their idols, but I really hope that Rob just says, screw it, and he just plays his idol. That would be cool, because then everyone can play their idols and the playing field's level.
Yeah, I mean, that is pretty interesting. I'm wondering what the reason behind that is. I'm hoping, because he's saying, let's all reveal our idols and let's not play it. So I'm thinking maybe he's literally trying to convince Durang to vote for himself. So I'm like, that's an alternative.
Yes, that would be hilarious.
That would be funny. Like, imagine Durang sitting there. The four of them have their idols, and I think that's what he's gunning. And it's like, oh shit, what do? I have to vote myself, and no one votes for him except for him voting for himself. You know.
Well, Steffi,
so I don't know.
Steffi wouldn't have an idol.
Well, I think it depends. Maybe she's won immunity. I think that's you don't know. You know, one of them wants immunity, and they can give it to her because they've all got idols. That's the luxury they have now. If they're going to play this game with Rob, is that if Rob wins it, he'll say gladly, "Here, Steffi, you don't have it. Take this. I know Letitia's got an idol. I know Nicole's got an idol. I've got one. Durang is going home. It's a done deal." So again, I think from the excitement perspective, it's going to be exciting. I think Durang is going home. I think at some point, I mean, we're at a stage now where it would be cool to blindside Rob, but he pretty much deserves this game. So it would be sad if he got blindsided at the same time. But how exciting is this going to get, you know, for us watching it? And I think this is the dilemma we all face. But I think the most exciting part is going to be when whoever's in the final, I do think it's going to be a final 3. I don't think it's going to be a final 2. But I think when we have the final 3 and the jury hit them with the questions, because this is one hell of an animated jury.
Very, very. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to all those questions that are going to be asked by the jury in the final episode. But any case, Claudio, let's wrap it up for tonight. Thank you.
Yes. One more thing, though. I know I just talk a lot of shit, but from this, I mean, it's fairly close now, but who are you predicting to win this game?
Whoa. I think Nicole is looking pretty solid, I must admit. Excuse me. But I really hope Rob takes it. I know like we've said before, because Rob was playing such a good game, to some extent it made this season a bit more predictable and not so enjoyable to watch because there were less blindsides and so on. But he's worked his ass off in this game, you know, okay. I feel on a social level, on a strategic level, and on a physical level. So I really feel that he deserves it. And Claudia, if you think about it, yes, he has basically dictated, let's say, 60% of the votes. All of the people sitting on the jury, basically, Rob said it was all Rob's decisions. So,
but we do know how bitter the jury are. So this is going to be an interesting. Can you carry it all the way to the end? If we look at Jean and we look at Tom from last season, I mean, for me, Jean was the clear winner in my eyes. But she got to the end, she had tapped out, and she couldn't get her message across well. And I mean, her whole argument was she won at the right time. Sure, she was carried by, what's his name? The other guy. Werner. She was carried by him. But she won at the right time, and she ultimately chose Tom because she thought the jury didn't like him. But in the end, she couldn't get her message across. So I think this is going to be a vital thing. Nicole's got that experience. That's quite cool. I do think that, you know what this does pave way for? I know we should have ended, whatever.
Yeah.
I want to ask Timo. I want to ask Wayne, and I want to ask Taz and a couple of other guys that keep following our channel. I want to get their predictions. So could you please tell us in the comments who you think is going to win? I know Rob is a clear favorite, but do you think that's actually going to happen? That's what I want to ask. And then the other thing is, I do think this really paves way for South Africa to put an all-star season together. I think if we have one more season of a bunch of randoms, then we're going to, like, it would be great to see a Rob up against a Werner and then bring in a Jacques and bring in a Nicole and possibly, I don't know, Jean, if she would do it again, or if any of them would really do it again. Yeah. Or Xavier, that would be great to have Xavier on there. So it'd be cool to get like an all-star thing going after another season, because then we can actually see how good this guy is. Because, I mean, he's playing a great game. But it just makes me question the quality of players he's playing with. Yes,
that's very true. I've actually thought about it. Also, Claudio, that at some point, if they have an all-stars, that Robin Werner should be there. And I'm not sure if Heike Berg would also be willing to play. But Jock on his interview with 947 said that he won't play Survivor again. So
yeah, he's saying that now because he's a bit hurt. That's what it is. He's saying it now because honestly, I would feel the same. I'd feel slightly upset with the way in which, you know, you want to go to the end. So to say you lived out your dream, I do believe that is a truth. There's no truth, but he's tired right now. If you gave him a year, and you definitely want to come back, I reckon.
Yeah, maybe. But I must admit, after watching this season, I'm not even sure if I want to enter again.
Really? Yeah. Let's see where this goes.
I don't know. It's just the way I'm feeling now. After last year's season, I was like all fired up. I've got this shit. But now all of a sudden, I'm like thinking twice about it. But anyway.
And that's the other thing, people. Please tell us if you would like one of us to enter. I think that's also a good thing, because if you do want us to enter, then maybe we will. If you don't, then we'll just keep doing this. This is quite cool as well.
Yeah, we enjoyed it quite a lot. Thanks, Claudio, for joining me for another episode of TNO. It was fun. I'll see you again next week for the penultimate episode.
Até logo. Until later. Love you guys. Peace out.